Hello and welcome back. Sums up the first test match. Wow. Let's just have a chat about it and let's just see what were some of the key points, the key topics, and what we could see possibly in the next test at Melbourne. Let's firstly go to that Indian batting collapse. My last video that I did on cricketnews.com, I said the day before, day night 2, India were 1 for 9. I said the next morning, Australia's bowlers and India's batters, this will sum up the test match. That first session, it was so important, and geez, bowled out for 36 is pretty incredible. I don't think anyone saw that, and I think a lot of my Indian friends have already called it the Adelaide collapse. Yes, it was a massive collapse, and it was disappointing on India's ends up. There were some bad shots, but at the same time, Australia's fast bowling was incredible. The ability for them to bowl so consistently on line length, seam, swing, at pace is quite incredible. I think the most disappointing shot of the innings was Virat for me. Yes, he's very aggressive, and yes, he wants to put it back onto the opposition bowling team, but when you're 3 or 4 down for 15, trying to play a cover drive outside off stump isn't the best shot, and a couple of balls before to get off strike, he actually hit one down to gully and just missed getting caught as well. So not sure if that was the best shot. And this next test match, he was needed, but now he's gone home. This just gives such a big opportunity for the rest of the Indian team to show that, you know what, we don't need you. We don't need Virat. We don't need him every time. We don't need to rely on him. I'm going to be the man to take it by the grip. Rahane, captain, he's got to come out and I think show a little bit of aggression. He's very quiet. He's not in your face like Virat. I don't think he needs to go away from what he's like, because you can't be a person that you're not, but he's also got to stand up and show a bit of fight, a bit of determination. The first day of Melbourne's test, the Boxing Day test, India have to come out, whether it's with the bat, whether it's with the ball, and fire. Come out, go hard, make it a first solid day, make a statement that we're back. We're not that team that's going to get bowled out for 36 and lose a test match within 3 days again on a flat Adelaide wicket. That's what's a concern. Adelaide's one of the flattest wickets in Australia, and it is quite concerning, but the team have to show up. Like I've pointed out, Australians fast bowling, don't take anything away from them. If you've got 3 blokes in Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood and Paddy Cummins bowling at over 140 kilometres an hour, seaming the ball, swinging the ball, and just never ever giving anything away, especially Josh Hazlewood, he's 6'5", 6'6". He bowls 140 kilometres very fast and never misses a spot and does enough with it. Seams it a little bit, swings it a little bit. That ball to Rahane second innings, geez, good luck playing that ball. He's good enough to nick it, and that just shows you Rahane's a good player. He's in good form, or he wouldn't have nicked that. That was just seriously good bowling. And then you've got Nathan Lyon, who will hang up one end and he'll give the other bowlers a bit of a rest, but he'll also take wickets. So how India are going to combat the Australian bowling attack, I don't know. One of the massive problems is Prithvi Shaw. Like I've said, I've played against him before, amazing talent. But at the moment, if he keeps getting out early and exposes Rahane and some of the really good Indian batsmen early on, that's not going to be great for India. Australia are trying to target their middle order as soon as possible. And like I've said in the post that I've done on cricketnews.com, is that a lot of Indian batsmen, where a lot of Australian batsmen, they use their whole wrist and they use their whole arms for their swing. So it's always out here. That's Australian way to bat. But Indian ways to bat is using more hands. And a lot of the Indian batsmen's hands is they go straight up to there. That's what Indian batters do. They're so good at. That's where they get a lot of their power. But what Prithvi Shaw does is he actually uses his hands, but also comes away from his body. And the only angle of his bat is to come back in and inside the ball. So a ball coming in at you at 145 or 140 kilometres an hour, either nipping back or swinging back, he doesn't have enough time to get his hands from out here back inside. So he's got a couple of technical issues to sort out there, and I don't think the Indian players or coaching staff have enough faith in him at the moment. But who do you bring in? Do you bring in Shubman Gill? He's quite a similar player though. He's going to be very attacking. It's just who do they think can actually stick out there longer, because they don't want to expose Pujara. They don't want to expose Rahane too early. So it's going to be interesting to see what India does with their batting lineup. Aussie's batting as well. That's something that I wanted to speak about, is that, yeah, the bowling was so good that they won a test match in 3 days, but Marnus and Steve Smith didn't get a run. And that first innings, Marnus looked quite he struggled a little bit. He got dropped 3 times for 40. Smith got a good one from Ashwin, but it's a positive and a negative from them for the Indian players is because both of them might have lost a little bit of form. That's what they've got to hope for. But then the other negative for the Indian players is that they're 2 players that absolutely are hungry for runs. They all want to fight for runs. So they haven't made any and they'll be due to score some runs. So India need to try to get out Burns. I think Will Bukovsky will be back in this test. And unfortunately, I've got a feeling that Matthew Wade will get dropped for Will Bukovsky. What the Indians want to do is try to get some quick wickets early, try to expose Marnus and Steve Smith to the new ball. And then also, who does India bring in? What bowler do they bring in? Is it going to be Saini or is it going to be... it's going to be difficult, isn't it? Because who do they bring in? Saini, Siraj, or the left armour? Can't remember his name, Najan I think it was, but he was quite good in the T20. So who do they bring in? I don't mind the left armour actually because it actually comes back into him. It's a little bit of a change up. They don't have another left arm bowler and it supports Bumrah. So, and it probably also gives Ravi Ashwin some foot marks to bowl into in the 4th or 5th day if India get there. So it's going to be an interesting test match. I think, like I said, that first day is massive because it just shows the attitude of the Indian players. No Virat, how do they respond? This could be a massive thing for Indian cricket is that they can come out and go, geez, they could lose the whole series whitewashed and people can go, they can't win a game without Virat. Or Rahane and the rest of the players can stand up and go, you know what, let's take the bull by the horns here. Let's play out of our skin and let's show India, let's show the world that we don't need Virat every single test match. So going to be really interesting and I'm really looking forward to Boxing Day test match. Could not get a better spectacle. 2 great teams fighting it out. Let's see what happens. I know a lot of you Indian fans want to see India fight back here, and so do I. I want to see a really good test match. I want to see a fighting test match. And the one thing I did like is the Indian fast bowlers, they were quite brutal to the Australian lower order batters. I really liked that. They were bowling quite short. Paddy Cummins got our second ball to Umesh Yadav. He's got to be aggressive. Let's be aggressive to him because Australia will do that to the Indian fast bowlers when they come out to bat. So I want to see that aggression. I want to see Rahane come out and show some fight. I want to see the Indian players come out with some fight. So going to be really interesting and looking forward to it, and I hope you are too.